Good morning. It is Tuesday, February the 28th, 2023. I'm Pearson Bowen. This is a CBC Morning Report. COVID-19 was probably the result of a leak from a laboratory, according to a newly updated classified report from the United States Department of Energy obtained by the Wall Street Journal newspaper.
The White House insists that finding the true origins of COVID-19 is a priority. This follows a Department of Energy report that concludes, albeit with low confidence, that COVID-19 originated in a Chinese lab. This is a revelation that's been widely reported in the U.S. media. But National Security spokesperson John Kirby admits the Department of Energy opinion is not widely shared.
The intelligence community and the rest of the government is still looking at this. There's not been a definitive conclusion, so it's difficult for me to say, nor should I feel like I should have to defend press reporting about a possible preliminary indication here. What the president wants is facts. He wants the whole government designed to go get those facts, and that's what we're doing, and we're just not there yet.
Now some conservative politicians pushing the lab leak theory in the early days of the pandemic, including former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, are calling for a public apology. And current Republican Senator Rand Paul is calling on the Biden White House to declassify certain intelligence documents to provide full public transparency.
British health officials are taking a deeper look at the most recent spread of H5N1, better known as bird flu.
Concerns have been heightened following the death of a girl infected with the H5N1 strain in Cambodia last week. In Peru, authorities have extended their avian flu health emergency until at least the end of the year, as thousands of birds, sea lions and otters have been found infected or dead. There's also been a recent outbreak at a mink farm in Spain. Fears have been fueled in part by the detection of infection in a variety of mammals, including foxes, raccoons, bears and seals. But this month, the World Health Organization said the risk to humans remains low. Well, Richard Webby is an infectious disease researcher at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. Where are we right now in our understanding about the seriousness of H5N1?
Yeah, so it's a great question. What we do know about this virus is that it is still very much a bird virus. So that's the host that it's most able to infect and replicate in. Yeah, and we're seeing these uptick in the number of mammal infections, and obviously the tragic cases we're seeing in humans as well. But these seem to be the sort of the rarity rather than sort of the common event. So that's what we're keeping an eye on right now, and that's why we sort of focus in when we see these mammal infections to see if this virus is changing that, if it's changing from being a bird virus to being a mammal virus. At the moment, there's not a lot of evidence that it's actually making the changes it needs to make that leap.
Regional Chairman of Region 4 in Guyana, Daniel Siram, has lodged an assault report with a local police station following an incident with Regional Executive Officer Donald Gajrat that was captured on camera. HGP TV's Shamar Aline tells us more.
Regional Chairman of Region 4, Daniel Siram, has made a formal report at the BV police station after allegedly being the victim of an assault by Regional Executive Officer Donald Gadraj. The Regional Executive Officer was seen on video snatching the microphone from Siram during the region's flag-raising ceremony on Wednesday. But what sparked the issue was when Siram offered Member of Parliament Cathy Hughes to offer a speech at the ceremony. In a statement, Siram called for Gadraj's resignation, noting that it was disrespectful and must be met with immediate corrective action. Quote, if the government does not take decisive action to reprimand and remove Gadraj from his position, it will only serve to confirm the suspicion that the much touted One Guyana mantra is nothing more than a hollow slogan bereft of any real meaning, end quote. Meanwhile, the women's arm of the Alliance for Change, the Women for Change, condemned the REO's behavior.
The disrespect for the Member of Parliament and a woman adopt, as displayed by the REO, can only be seen as indicative of his total contempt for women.
To this end, the women's arm called on President Irfan Ali and his administration to instruct the REO to issue an apology to the Member of Parliament.
You're watching the CBC Morning Report. We're back with more in just a moment.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Max Pack Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for our new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
A magnitude 5.6 earthquake has hit eastern Turkey, killing at least one person and wounding dozens while causing some damaged buildings to collapse. Monday's earthquake became the latest major tremor to rock southern Turkey as the region rebuilds from earlier massive quakes that killed more than 50,000 people across southern Turkey and northwest Syria.
The latest quake struck the city of Malatya, triggering frantic work to rescue several people trapped in rubble. Turkish authorities said more than 100 people were injured in the tremor on Monday and 29 buildings were destroyed. 3 weeks ago, two major earthquakes killed at least 50,000 people across southern Turkey and northern Syria. Our correspondent Teresa Bow reports from Malatya.
We're here in the province of Malatya. This is just 10 kilometers away from where the latest earthquake, the 5.6 earthquake, happened earlier this Monday. We're here where their search and rescue operations continue to be ongoing. Disaster authorities just told us that they believe that 3 people remained underneath the rubble here, but that they're not hearing any voices now, but that they continue to check, trying to continue and save people's lives. We've been told that at least 29 buildings have collapsed or been damaged in this part of the country, in this city, that at least 32 people have been rescued from under the rubble. This country is still struggling to recover from the earthquakes that happened 3 weeks ago, from February 6th. This city has suffered lots of damage. When you're coming in here, you can see still people that are living in tents, trying in a way to handle what happened with their lives. The Turkish government has given away tents and food and water, has given away cash handouts to help people cope with what they have gone through. But most of the people we have spoken to are saying when they'll be able to have their lives back. The Turkish government is also hoping to start the rebuilding process as soon as possible.
All right, coming up at 6:30, when you join me for Morning Barbados today, we'll be continuing our conversations on CARICOM, taking a more detailed look at the Bridgetown Initiative that has been widely adopted, what's within, and we'll break it down for you when we're joined by Ambassador David Commichong, Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM. Also today, we want to continue to update you on what's happening in Taste 2 Week at the University of the West Indies at Cave Hill campus. Today, we want to look at what's happening in the Department of Biological and Chemical Services. We are going to tell you just what some of the courses that you can engage in when you join that particular department. The Modern High School Association are having a week of activities. They will join us this morning to break it all down, so to see how you can be a part of it. When we're joined in our pediatric care, we want to talk to Dr. Gillian Birchwood this morning about when your children find themselves constantly urinating? What's the problem? What's going on there? What's causing it? And what are some of those old wives' tales, myths that we have got to debunk? Also today we'll be having our unscramble, and the question is, who won the big watermelon eating contest at Agro Fest? All that and a whole lot more straight ahead at 6:30 when you join me for Morning Barbados. We're taking a break here. We're coming back in just a moment.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.
The bidding process for oil and gas blocks offshore Barbados is expected to get underway by the middle of this year. That's the word from Energy Minister Senator Lisa Cummins, as discussion on the estimates continued in Parliament yesterday under the Ministry of Energy and Business Development head for a total of $45.9 million.
Mr. Chairman, in 2022, the offshore licensing round was launched, and we are expecting that before the end of this quarter of the financial year 2023, that we will actually begin the bid round. And so we're looking forward to having that engagement, and that relates specifically to our offshore oil and gas blocks, and there are 26 of them.
The Director of Natural Resources, Jamar White, spoke to the progress made by one of the license holders, BHP, which has been acquired by Woodside Energy.
They completed a 2,600 square kilometer 3D seismic survey offshore Barbados in an effort to better understand what the prospectivity was. From what we are hearing, and we are awaiting the official notice from the company, but from what we're hearing from the company is that the results look very encouraging. Now, we are aware of the national energy policy, which speaks to the development of our offshore resources for export, and the studies indicate that we are very prospective for natural gas offshore because of where we're located, because of other tests and studies that have been done.
The return to the original route for Grand Kadooment has been given the thumbs up. Trevor Thorpe reports.
After a new Kadooment route was tried last year, it's back to the Warrens to Mighty Griner Highway for revelers this year. The decision is getting support from vendors and revelers. Station Hill resident Quincy Simpson believes it was always the better route, and he can't wait for the day to come.
We feel good, and there's a better route, because that other route ain't making sense to me and the rest of people, and then that son, I can more make money from this road here.
Over at Bank Hall, Michael Tobbs says he is too old to do the entire route, but he revels from stoplight to stoplight.
We feel very good about it, and we are very pleased that it's come back, because according to the feedback that we were getting, it didn't seem to work up by the stadium side. So we are glad to have it back, and a lot of people will benefit from it because it took away a lot of income from people last year, and we are glad to have it back.
Saeed Ali, who has been jumping for 30 years, says he is happy for the return to the old route.
Hey, the better road than that road. You get more people from this end. Yeah. Nobody go to the back there, you know what I mean? Appreciate it.
The sun greeted us in the high heavens today when we did the course to the Spring Garden Highway, now called the Mighty Griner Highway. But it's been given the thumbs up from all those whom we spoke with this morning, and they're happy to know that 2023 crop over goes back to the original spot. Trevor Thorpe on the Mighty Griner Highway for CBC News.
Local multi-brand automotive dealership Simpson Motors is now Inchcape, Barbados. The Warrens St. Michael company was bought by British conglomerate Inchcape plc last May. In making that announcement at a breakfast media conference, Commercial Retail Director Peter Cox said the development will allow Inchcape Barbados to build on the strong platform developed by Simpson Motors.
We're truly excited about what the future holds for this organization, its team members, and its customers. Although the Inchcape brand may be new to most Barbadians, the organization has quite an impressive global footprint, operating in over 40 markets and territories across the globe, and has a presence on 6 continents. The company also has nearly 100 years of experience in the automotive industry and has strong relationships with a number of vehicle manufacturers.
Athletes continued their preparations for the Powerade Dasani Water BSAC Championships and the Carifta Games with some excellent performances at the just concluded Louis Lynch Championships. Among the athletes achieving the Carifta times was Anaya Nurse in the under-17 girls 200 meters with a clocking of 24.55 seconds. The standard was 24.6. Meanwhile, in the under-20 boys, Aragon Stricker equaled the standard in 21.40 seconds, while Amani Maskell-Beckles dipped under the mark, clocking 21.32 seconds. Damien Best reports on the preliminaries of the 200 meters.
A slice of the early action on the final day of the Louis Lynch Championships at the Usain Bolt Sports Complex. Let's focus in on the 200 meters, the under-17 girls. Carifta standard 24.60 seconds. Preliminary number 2, decent start by Alyssa Weeks of BSL in lane 4. Looks sharp in the first 100 meters. Chelsea Warrell-Carter of Talons in lane 7 was fighting off a stiff challenge as well from Shakia Kennedy of UWI Blackbirds and a few others. But Weeks will cruise across the line in 26.17 seconds. Warrell-Carter advancing as well, 27.76. Heat 3 of the preliminaries, 7 entries. This was a business trip for Anaya Nurse. She's in lane 2 and picking them apart at every second of the way. The form looks sound and the time fastest of the 3 heats. Determination paying dividends, 25.44 seconds. Naima Taylor of Talons, 26.47. And Shadavia Millington of Princess Margaret Secondary School also through in 27.25. Switch to the under-17 boys now. The Carifta standard, 22 seconds flat. The fastest of them, heat number 2, Caden Dorrich Roach, the tall lad from Quantum Leap, lays down the law, coming off the curve and disappearing from the Manny Lane of BSL in a time of 22.80 seconds. Lane 23.86, Jocardale Adams of Courage and Parry third. Step up to the under-20 boys now, 21.40 seconds. The Carifta standard, heat 1 and 3, the best of the best. Lane 6, that's the rocket man, Josiah Paris of Quantum Leap, already booked for the Bahamas. And once he navigated the curve, it was poetry in motion. The 100-meter champion, out of the gun streak of Talons, not far behind. But Paris stops the clock in 21.59 seconds, Straker 22.07. Having seen Paris in action, the mission was clear for Amani Maskell-Beckles in Heat 3, letting them know who's boss. Lane 3 is the focus. Maskell-Beckles already qualifying for Carifta. He was making an example of the field. You could see putting in all the extra effort, 21.48 seconds. A day and a year behind him was Amir Gustav of Blaze Track Club in 22.39 and Rashad Williams of Elite Distance third. But we can't leave without featuring the women's 200 meters, 24.15, the Carifta standard. Heat 1 was a roller coaster of emotions for the spectators. Nia Brown in lane 1 ensured she would be in the final, pulling away at 50 and slamming the field, 25.15 seconds. Tonique Fleming also advancing in 25.53. Anna McLean of Blaze third, 25.73 seconds. Skip ahead to Heat 3, Amani Kernan of Quantum Leap. She's in lane 3 and locked in a ding-dong battle against the experienced Kerry Beckles in 5. At the 50-meter mark, Kernan digging deep, finds that extra oomph The arms telling the tale. The time, 25.15 seconds. Beckles of Rising Stars, 26.66. Calicia Downs of Talons just getting home for third, 26.07 seconds. A good day of action at the Usain Bolt.
Well, thank you, Damien. Also making the Carifta standard was Finn Armstrong in the under-20 boys 5,000 meters. In the girls under 17 800 meters, Ashlyn Simmons and Kanesia Bryn of elite distance. In more sports now, in the 40th running of the Sandy Lane Barbados Gold Cup is on Saturday. CBC's Anne-Marie Burke begins our previews for the island's marquee horse racing event.
It was in February that the 6-year-old Kentucky-bred Mohawk arrived here in Barbados to join horse racing. His acquisition would mean for owner Peter Odell that he would have his first ever chance to Gold Cup glory. Mohawk has a decent stat sheet: 24 career starts, 5 wins, 4 second places, and 5 thirds. Trained 4-time Gold Cup winning trainer Robert Pierce, Odell believes he's in with a good chance to get to the winner's circle.
Our horse, Mohawk, is probably, he's an outstanding horse. He really is. If you look at his form before he came here, and I think he's taken to, the conditions very well. We're very pleased with how he's climatized so far, and we're just hopeful that on the day we've got, for me, the premier jockey in Barbados on board, Rashid Hughes, who I always tell people when I have Rash aboard, I feel I'm 95% home. I just need the other 5% know with the horse. Honestly, that's how I feel. That's how much confidence I have in him as a jockey. He's written some amazing races for us, and so I'm really excited.
It was in 2019 that Rashid piloted Celestial Storm to Gold Cup victory. And 4 years later, he's tasked with getting Mohawk first to the post. No pressure, right?
I won't say feel pressure because, like you say, tasted victory already, but you still want to win. So you don't want to get into the race with that kind of mindset. I want to go into the race like I've never won this. But there's no pressure. I try to ride every race like a normal race. Block out the crowd and block out the excitement and everything that's going on. And just let the horse do what the horse got to do. I think I'm physically and mentally ready. Just trying to wake up early and try to get on my mounts and try to just put in the work and stay fit, stay free in the mind, just stay locked in. If you like the horse, you bet the horse. If you like me, you bet the horse. You bet me, but I can't tell you who to put your money on. I mean, the race competitive. I think everyone have a good chance. This is the most competitive Gold Cup I've seen in years, well in my time. So I would think everyone has a good chance. It'll be tough to get a bet.
Speaking about the relationship he's fostering with his charge, you said all is going to plan.
Well, he's been doing good since he came. I think he's going a lot better on turf. Well, this is the first time I felt him on turf, but he felt a lot better. And he's been handling the track pretty much good. He's still learning the top turn, but I think he's doing well.
Rashid Hughes and Mohawk will make all their running on the outside of the field when they go out of gate number 9.
All right, let's take a look at forecast conditions recorded earlier at the Met Office of the Grant Lee Adams International Airport. What's in the forecast for all of us today? At the moment, Barbados 24.3 degrees Celsius under partly cloudy conditions, though it feels like 25 degrees Celsius. The humidity is 81%. There's a bit of moisture building on the lower atmosphere. The barometer reads 1015.5 millibars. The winds are coming nicely from the east at 24 kilometers an hour. If you're heading to the sea today, we want you to know that a low tide is scheduled for 13 minutes to 4 this afternoon. We will have a high tide, though, be careful, at 7 minutes past 10 this morning. And if you're going later in the evening, a high tide is scheduled for 10 minutes to 10 tonight. Seas today should be moderate in open water. Swells, northerly swells ranging from 1.5 to 2 meters. In the forecast, look at that. In the forecast for Barbados today, sunny, in other words, equals hot. It's going to be a hot day today, a scorcher, and tonight should be mostly clear. Another warm evening. Look at some international city conditions now. London clocking in a high of 8 degrees Celsius, a low of 3. Frankfurt, Germany, 6 is highest, lowest -3. If you're heading to Miami today, expect a nice, cool, warm day. 29 degrees Celsius its maximum, its minimum 19. Further north in Montreal, biting cold. A high of 1, a low of -7. In Boston, it should be 3 degrees Celsius its highest, and the cloudy conditions with a -2 later in the evening is lowest. New York is also going to be quite cold for those of you in those climes. 4 degrees Celsius, cloudy as well and raining. There in New York, 4 its maximum, -1 is going to be its minimum. And in Toronto, ooh, look at that, 4 maximum, -2 the minimum. Those are some international city conditions today. That's it for today's edition of the CBC Morning Report. I'm Pearson Bowen. Morning Barbados starts now.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Indeed, morning to you, morning everyone. Welcome to today. It's Tuesday, the 28th of February 2023. We're already at the end of the second month of the year. The time is going so swiftly by, and you ask yourself, where did the time go? No one knows, but the times to come, one has to pay greater attention to as well. I'm Pearson Bowen. Welcome to all of you, wherever you are. Thank you so much for waking up to keep us company indeed. If you're on our streams on YouTube and Facebook, we are always welcoming you there, and we hope that you continue to interact with us. Your comments are always appreciated. As you know, we share them. So thank you so very much for being that community, joining us on our streams on YouTube and Facebook. We are always grateful for that company and that community. If you went to Agro Fest on last weekend, I am told you had a grand old Duke of York time. Numbers of you really turned up there. The children had a ball. They came home with their stories to tell. We have a story to tell as well. There was a melon eating contest. We want to take a look at that to see how they fared. And how did one of our staffers fared as well in that melon eating contest? I can't wait to share that with you. It's going to be a spill. It's also going to be quite a laugh as well. So stick around to see that. Don't you dare miss it. Also coming up today, we'll have some laughter through our unscramble session as well. It's back today, and hopefully you'll get a chance to really clean your lenses, your eyes, and get yourself ready to spot the scrambled letters and to unscramble them as well. Dr. Gillian Birchwood, our pediatrician, will join us this morning. We want to take a look at the whole question of when your children are having problems with urination. And good morning to you, Sandra Allen Richards. Always wonderful having you company. Thank you. You start early o'clock, girl. Early o'clock indeed, but good to hear from you. And so when your children are having problems with urination, what's causing it? When they're going too often, when they're having problems going, and when they're into bedwetting. All of us pass through that stage, so don't get on badly. So hello. So we're going to talk a little bit about that when pediatrician Dr. Gillian Birchwood joins us this morning. Also, it's Taster Week continuing at the University of the West Indies at KFL. As you know, they're marking their 60th anniversary, and so we've been exposing and will continue to expose you to what's happening there as part of the activities, but the education offered there as well, as we seek to further transform and develop our communities through education. And so yesterday we looked into the sciences area, and so today we want to continue doing so, looking at biological and chemical services and the programs therein. So stand by for that opportunity as well. And mind you, education at this stage, at tertiary level, is open to everyone at any age. You could be the youngest or you could be the oldest. Everyone has an opportunity to pursue education, higher education, at the University of the West Indies at KFL as well. But As we get started this morning, we turn our attention to our conversations on CARICOM. As you do know, we had our report coming out of the recently held 44th regular meeting of the heads of government of CARICOM, and out of that came the adoption by CARICOM heads of what we now know as the Bridgetown Initiative, developed right here. We're going to break it down, but before we do, with Ambassador David Commichon, I want to take a look at a recent lecture delivered by Professor Avinash Prasad as he gave further insight also into the Bridgetown Initiative.
Bridgetown is about shifting some reconstruction money from debt to grants and lowering the cost of investing in resilience so climate change, more devastating floods and more prolonged droughts will not drown us in unaffordable debt. And so we will have the space to do the other things we must do, such as investing in development, in public education, in universities, in health, and in homes. The best measure of whether you have too much debt is whether it's crowding out those things, whether more tax dollars are going to pay interest than spending on teachers, doctors, nurses, and homes. That's not where we are today, but we need the Bridgetown Initiative to keep it so. The people most affected by climate change are the same as those most affected by COVID, and they're the same as those most affected by the global financial crisis. These are just different windows onto the same problem of poverty and inequality. So if you tell me that people are gluing themselves to the road on climate change in the countries that we need to support development finance, but not for the other things we've campaigned on for decades, I say to you, don't dismiss that. Embrace it. For if we address climate comprehensively, loss and damage, resilience, mitigation, we will transform economies, communities, and individuals to be less vulnerable in general.
And so we're joined now by Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM, Ambassador David Commichon. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Pearson. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. And that's what we're going to be looking at right now, the Bridgetown Initiative and where we are with it. And it's good to hear it broken down so simply as well, to show that we're all in this together. And the Bridgetown Initiative seeks to be able to address all of this together.
Yes, Professor Prasad made three important points about the Bridgetown Initiative, and we could get into those points and the others that he would not have been covered in that short clip. But it's important that the Barbadian people be fully aware of what the Bridgetown Initiative is, and that we feel that we are part of it, and we take responsibility for promoting it, for talking it up. I say it's important because not only was it formed right here in Barbados, but Barbadian policymakers and thinkers obviously had a very big input into it. It's not just a Barbadian initiative, it's an international initiative, but you can see the imprint of the Barbadian mind in it. And you know, it's being taken up all over the world. At the recent CARICOM Heads of Government Conference, there was John Kerry, the US Special Envoy on Climate, expressing commitment to the Bridgetown Initiative. There was the Minister of International Development of the United Arab Emirates expressing commitment to the Bridgetown Initiative. President Macron of France. So if it is getting traction in so many capitals around the world, it's important that the Barbadian people too lock into it and take pride in it, but take responsibility for talking it up. So Professor Prasad begins with a very important aspect, that is that when countries like Barbados are hit by natural disasters, as we were hit by Elsa recently, those countries that did, have no blame, they did nothing to contribute to those natural disasters. They are victims. In fact, they are victims of irresponsible behavior by industrial countries over many, many decades that created these greenhouse gases that those countries that are hit by these disasters should not have to go borrowing money to rebuild, and therefore putting themselves in even greater debt. That those countries should be able to get grant financing to rebuild. And where does that grant financing come from? Well, the Bridgetown Initiative says those multinational companies, especially the big oil and gas companies, that every year amass billions and billions of dollars in profits, and that are largely responsible for causing the warming of the climate, that those companies should be taxed. A percentage of their profits should go towards providing reconstruction grants for countries that are hit by natural disasters and that did nothing to cause those natural disasters. And not only the oil and gas companies, but it is being appreciated that as the world tries to combat the global warming, that companies that get involved in renewable energy, that there are companies that are going to make massive profits out of the solutions to global warming, and that they too should perhaps give a percentage of their profits to go towards reconstruction grants. So that's one aspect of 6 aspects of the Bridgetown Initiative. I don't know if you want to come in here now, Pearson.
Well, and it also says, what I've heard him to say is that because we're all in this, when we look through our windows, we're all also facing debt crises of many various types, whether it's caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, whether it's caused by supply chains. And so the equalizer is that natural disasters need to be attended to, and you're quite right. So what are the mechanisms within that, should there be a natural disaster, that we can access this funding that will be set aside by these multinational companies? Has that been determined?
Well, we propose the establishment of a global climate mitigation trust. So Professor Prasad speaks about that as part of the Bridgetown Initiative, we are proposing cheaper loans, cheaper financing to finance development. He's making the point as well that, look, issues pertaining to building resilience to global warming, to the climate crisis, that the things you do to help a country and a people to build resilience to global warming will tend to be the same kind of things you do to help people deal with poverty, to help people deal with all of the aspects of poverty, clean water, proper sanitary systems, a proper health system, that these things dovetail. So he's making the point that if you really address the climate crisis, if you address helping countries to build resilience to the climate crisis, you will find that you are also helping them to deal with combating the evils of under development. So the Bridgetown Initiative addresses all of the institutions that go to finance either a response to the climate crisis or a response to poverty and underdevelopment. So, for example, it says to the IMF, a lot of countries coming out of the pandemic are struggling with great debt, are going into debt crisis. So the first point the Bridgetown Initiative makes, it says to IMF, we need to deal with this short-term issue of debt-stressed countries. So you need to step up to the plate. You need to give debt relief and debt suspension for temporary periods to all of these debt-stressed countries. You issue something called special drawing rights that helps to bolster the foreign exchange of countries. You need to reallocate 100 billion of those special drawing rights that you have given to big, powerful developing countries. We need to reallocate them to poor developing countries that are really stressing. So that's one aspect. But then it says to the World Bank, the World Bank group of companies and all the multilateral development banks, look, you have to make financing for developing countries to do adaptation, to global warming, to tackle issues of poverty and underdevelopment, what in the UN system they call the Sustainable Development Goals, that is an end to hunger across the world, an end to poverty, giving people proper health systems, proper education system, proper sanitation system, proper water systems, maintaining the biodiversity of land and ocean. All of these things require much cheaper money because countries have to borrow to deal with these things, but we can't have them borrowing this expensive money that is driving them into debt. So World Bank and multilateral development banks, you need, first of all, you need to expand the amount of money you make available to developing countries to address all of these problems. You need to expand it by at least $1 trillion US, but that money needs to be cheaper. That money needs to be long-term loans. So if a poor country has to borrow to deal with these things, they should not have to repay within a minimum of 30 years. Then the Bridgetown Initiative also says, but look, we have to address the rising global temperature, and we have to provide money, resources, so that countries all over the world, developed and developing countries, can engage in those initiatives and projects that will take them off of fossil fuels, that will help them transition to a low carbon economy, renewable energies, a green economy. That is going to call for lots and lots of money. That's going to call for trillions and trillions of dollars. So the Bridgetown Initiative says, let us set up a global climate mitigation trust and let us capitalize it with $500 billion, 500 billion IMF special drawing rights, which is the equivalent of 650 billion US dollars. But let that be the start. Let that trust then use that initial sum of money to attract and leverage private sector savings and investments all over the world, so that you take that initial 650 billion and you build it up into a fund that is available for borrowing and investment that is at the order of trillions of US dollars, so that that fund can then go to finance private sector projects all over the world that have the quality that when they are implemented, they will help to bring the world a little closer to reducing the warming of the temperature. That is, projects that are transitioning the world away from burning fossil fuels and creating greenhouse gases towards renewable energy. So if all three of those things are done, you are helping the entire world. You're helping rich countries, the industrial countries transition to low carbon. You're helping developing countries do the adaptation. You know, if we have to do desalination plants, if we have to improve coastal defenses, if we have to improve housing stock, you're helping them do all of that, but with much cheaper money. And so you're not only addressing the climate, but you're also addressing development for our people.
And so to the skeptic Barbadian, Barbados also benefits from this initiative.
Everyone benefits, and the only other aspect of the Bridgetown Initiative that I might not have touched upon is something that has been pushed by Barbados and Grenada, Caribbean countries. That is to put in your bonds. When governments borrow money, they issue bonds, but to put in those bonds natural disaster and pandemic clauses. These are clauses that you put in your bonds that if you are then hit by a natural disaster or a pandemic, and now because you have those clauses in your bonds, you will be able to suspend having to make payments on those bonds to your creditors for a period of, say, 2 years, so that you get that breathing space. Rather than having to be paying out money on servicing debt, you can use whatever financial resources you have to help you respond to the disaster that has just befallen your country and your people. So there are 6 aspects. There are 6 aspects of the Bridgetown Initiative, ranging from dealing with the short-term, the debt crisis, the short-term measures to deal with the immediate debt crisis, to cheaper money to finance development and adaptation to climate change, to long-term, let it be long-term money over 30 years or more, grants when you're hit by a natural disaster. You don't have to borrow, you should be given grants, and the multinational companies that profit from global warming, they need to finance those grants, the pandemic and natural disaster clauses, and also the core of the Bridgetown Initiative, that global climate mitigation trust that will have a multiplier effect. Right now, the world is not doing enough to keep the temperature rise, the global temperature rise, to no more than 1.5%. And Barbadian viewers should be aware of this. What we are saying is, if we do not hold down the rise in global temperature to no more than a 1.5% increase by the end of this century, then that is going to have cataclysmic effects, especially for small island developing countries like Barbados. So you're talking about more vicious hurricanes, you're talking about droughts, you're talking about beach erosion. So we desperately need to keep the global climate to that level. But if that is going to happen, the world really has to step up. The world has to invest much more money in doing all of the things that need to be done to transition the world away from fossil fuel industries towards a green societies. And that is going to call for trillions of dollars. And the Bridgetown Initiative is the first proposal that has been really serious proposal that has been put on the table that suggests a way of how you can get to those trillions of dollars in investment that is going to be required if the world is going to stand a chance of holding the temperature to no more than a 1.5 degree increase. So especially our young people, we need to become environmentalists. This needs to be the cause of our young people. And you have the instrument, you have with the Bridgetown Initiative, a homegrown instrument that you can embrace to become some of the world's, foremost advocates for dealing with climate change. And this is the kind of message that needs to go out all across Barbados. Let us all, as a national population, let us mobilize around this Bridgetown Initiative that belongs to us, and that is providing a solution to the most significant and fundamental problem facing the world today.
Indeed. Ambassador Kamishon, thank you so much as always for joining us on our conversations on CARICOM and further enlightening us really truly about what's within the pages of the Bridgetown Initiative. Thank you so much, sir. We look forward to seeing you again next week, if it be God's will. Thank you.
Thank you, Pearson. My pleasure as usual.
You're welcome. Morning Barbados continues in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morning.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So we're 10 minutes now to go to 7 o'clock as we continue our taste a week as to what's happening at the University of the West Indies, still in the department, this time of Biological and Chemical Sciences. We're joined again this morning by Dr. Avril Williams, head of the Department of Biological and Chemical Sciences. With her is Dr. Shane Austin, a lecturer in biochemistry, and Dr. Henri Vaz, who is the senior lecturer in ecology. To each of you, good morning.
Good morning, Pearson.
Dr. Williams, let's start with you. Define again, for those who may have missed it yesterday, what happens in your department.
So, Pearson, my department, as you just called, is the Department of Biological and Chemical Sciences. And essentially, it covers the natural sciences. So a lot of us would have become aware of the importance of science during the pandemic, whether it was as a result of the COVID-19 vaccine, virus, or the vaccines, or even more recently, the derailment of the train in Ohio that had vinyl chloride as part of its cargo. And then who could forget in 2020 when there was the explosion at the port in Lebanon because of ammonium nitrate. So essentially, my department looks at the sciences, what we would call the pure sciences. So we have biochemistry, biology, chemistry, ecology, environmental science, as well as microbiology, all being taught at the undergraduate level. So we do majors in those 6 particular disciplines. And of course, students can combine those majors with minors in those particular disciplines as well. In addition, we also have a new minor that will be introduced for the upcoming academic year, and that's the minor in sustainability in the Caribbean. So it falls under the environmental science discipline, and it's really an exciting minor in that it allows students to spend at 1 semester at a foreign university to complete the minor. You complete the major at the KFIL campus, but the minor is done at a foreign university.
And it's so timely, just following on from our conversations on CARICOM, when we're looking for solutions coming out of the Bridgetown Initiative as we continue to create a world that's more just and sustainable. And so let's turn to the Department of Ecology. We're talking here about organisms and how they interact with each other and their environment as well. Break it down for us, Dr. Henri, about when students sign up to be a part of it, the kinds of things that they almost hands-on approach in the teaching of that area in ecology.
Yes, absolutely, Jason. Thank you for that wonderful definition. That's exactly what ecology is about. When ecology in its broadest sense encompasses quite a bit of sub-disciplines, but it all boils down to your definition. So yes, when our students come here and they want to do a degree in ecology, it is fundamental that that they do hands-on work, and that implies basically going to gullies, going to coral reefs, going to coastal systems, and have them have a direct contact with these systems. One of the things that we've noticed, for instance, throughout the years that I've been here, is that oftentimes our students do not know what a coral looks like, even though, as you will know, coral reefs are a vital component of the ecosystems of Barbados. So the idea here is to bridge that gap, make them appreciate the kind of natural heritage that we have here in Barbados, and learn to appreciate it, and learn also to understand how it works, so that we can actually sustainably manage these systems, which are, as you probably know as well, under threat with because of climate change and habitat fragmentation and overfishing. So it is critical to ensure that they make that direct connection, and that often implies them getting wet, getting their hands dirty with mud, and just or simply walking through a forested area. So there's quite a bit of emphasis on hands-on activities, just to reinforce the concepts that we see in class.
It sounds very fascinating and exciting indeed. So when we don't understand the seaweed problem, the Department of Ecology could probably help you where that's concerned. If we don't understand how to protect our coastlines through coral reefs, the Department of Ecology can help to clarify a whole host of things there as it relates to teaching and perhaps research as well that happens in the department too. But we also want to look at biochemistry, because how our substances interact in our systems as well. And so Dr. Shane, that's where you come in. What happens specifically within your area, and break it down for students who are fascinated by it and want to now sign up to be a part of the teaching at the university.
Yes, thanks, Pearson. So that's exactly what it is. We want our students to be excited, engaged, and really passionate about it. What we're talking about is the set of systems that are occurring in your body. So we're talking about various kinds of metabolites and various things that you take into your body, how they're broken down and used by your body to actually gain the energy that's necessary. So oftentimes person talk about fats, proteins, carbohydrates. And each one of those specific molecules we look at in the area of biochemistry, and we're really interested in a detailed understanding of how those molecules are used. And that's at the undergraduate level. We're talking about teaching over a 3-year period. So students are very much introduced to the concept very early in their career, in their first year. And into their second year, they start to explore more of the body of the subject, those 3 molecules I just spoke about. And by the time they're coming on to their 3rd year, we're really interested in them applying that biochemical knowledge. So we're focusing on talking about things about how you could apply this not only to human diseases. I think the head of department, Dr. Williams, did a really good job of highlighting some of the areas in which biochemistry might interest persons, particularly out of the COVID-19 pandemic, understanding information about the vaccine, but also we're interested in the department about applying it to other more niche topics. Like for instance, persons seldom think about biochemistry as it relates to plants and plant pathology, being able to identify diseases in plants and how plants also metabolize. And what you would find in our department is that we not only teach this at the undergraduate level, but we actually have also postgraduate students who are engaged in research at the very high level of master's and PhD study that are also actually generating knowledge at the UWI, driving research and development in those particular areas.
Dr. Williams, when we hear all of this, we know that now it's far wider than just what the name alone says, biological and chemical sciences. There's so many different branches from that particular, that stems from that. Talk to us today then about what you're doing this week so that we can get to know more and how we can now, as students in those areas, really sign up to be a part of it with the university.
Thanks, Pearson. So this week we actually, as part of the faculty, we have quite a few taster sessions. So yesterday we did have the meeting with the executive management of the faculty, but today we do have the session for the undergraduate students this evening at 6 to 8 p.m. We also have a taster class, and this will be a preliminary chemistry class, and that is going to take place between 5:15 and 5:30 p.m. today. And for all those students who are interested in entering biological and chemical sciences, I would encourage you to tune into that class. We have a wonderful teacher who's going to be teaching a particular topic for those 15 minutes, just so that you get a taste of the type of teaching that occurs at the campus in our department. But today, as I said, 6 to 8, we invite all prospective undergraduate students to join us with your questions. Tomorrow, we have the session for the postgraduate students, also from 6 to 8, and we also invite those to join as well.
And all of these are online. You need to register today to be a part of it indeed. It's such an exciting week, and it's such an exciting department alone. I could see many Barbadians wanting to be a part of it, whether you are fascinated by science and biochemical activity, or you are definitely a student of. These are sessions that you need to sign in and be a part of indeed. I want to thank each of you for joining us this morning. Dr. Avril Williams, the head of the Department of Biological and Chemical Sciences, Dr. Shane Austin, lecturer in biochemistry, and his is a very fascinating area as well, and Dr. Henri Valls, a senior lecturer in ecology, another fascinating area. We want you really, truly, everybody to be a part of it. Thank you so much for enlightening us this morning about what happens in your department. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome indeed. We'll take a break here. We're coming back with more on Morning Barbados in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Max Pack Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for a new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's 7 o'clock. Let's take a look at the news now. The bidding process for oil and gas blocks offshore Barbados is expected to get underway by the middle of this year. That is the word from the Energy Minister, Senator Lisa Cummins, as discussion on the estimates continued in Parliament yesterday under the Ministry of Energy and Business Development head for a total of $45.9 million.
Mr. Chairman, in 2022, the offshore licensing round was launched, and we are expecting that before the end of this quarter of the financial year 2023, that we will actually begin the bid round. And so we're looking forward to having that engagement, and that relates specifically to our offshore oil and gas blocks, and there are 26 of them.
The Director of Natural Resources, Jamar White, spoke to the progress made by one of the license holders, BHP, which has been acquired by Woodside Energy.
They completed a 2,600 square kilometer 3D seismic survey offshore Barbados in an effort to better understand what the prospectivity was. From what we are hearing, and we are awaiting the official notice from the company, but from what we're hearing from the company is that the results look very encouraging. Now, we are aware of the national energy policy, which speaks to the development of our offshore resources for export, and the studies indicate that we are very prospective for natural gas offshore because of where we're located, because of other tests and studies that have been done.
The return to the original route for Grand Kadooment has been given the thumbs up. Trevor Thorpe reports.
After a new Kadooment route was tried last year, it's back to the Warrens to Mighty Griner Highway for revelers this year. The decision is getting support from vendors and revelers. Station Hill resident Quincy Simpson believes it was always the better route, and he can't wait for the day to come.
We feel good, and there's a better route, because that other route ain't making sense to me and the rest of people. And then that son, I come home make money from this road here.
Over at Bankhall, Michael Tubbs says he is too old to do the entire route, but he revels from stoplight to stoplight.
We feel very good about it, and we are very pleased that it's come back, because according to the feedback that we were getting, it didn't seem to work up by the stadium side. So we are glad to have it back, and a lot of people will benefit from it because it took away a lot of income from people last year, and we are glad to have it back.
Saeed Ali, who has been jumping for 30 years, says he is happy for the return to the old route.
Hey, the better road than that road. You get more people from this end. Yeah. Nobody go to the back there, you know what I mean? I appreciate it.
The sun greeted us in the high heavens today when we did the course to the Spring Garden Highway, now called the Mighty Griner Highway. But it's been given the thumbs up from all those whom we spoke with this morning, and they're happy to know that 2023 crop over goes back to the original spot. Trevor Thorpe on the Mighty Griner Highway for CBC News.
Local multi-brand automotive dealership Simpson Motors is now Inchcape Barbados. The Warrens St. Michael Company was bought by British conglomerate Inchcape PLC last May. In making the announcement at a breakfast media conference, Commercial Retail Director Peter Cox said the development will allow Inchcape Barbados to build on the strong platform developed by Simpson Motors.
We're truly excited about what the future holds for this organization, its team members, and its customers. Although the Inchcape brand may be new to most Barbadians, the organization has quite an impressive global footprint, operating in over 40 markets and territories across the globe, and has a presence on 6 continents. The company also has nearly 100 years of experience in the automotive industry and has strong relationships with a number of vehicle manufacturers.
Well, that's our news until now. We'll have more news here on TV8 at 12 noon, the CBC News Day. Morning Barbados continues in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
6 minutes after 7 o'clock now on this, the final day of February, Black History Month. Who are we celebrating today? On whose shoulders do we say we stand? If you're into jazz, if you're into the playing of the piano, if you're into just great music and musicianship, then you're into this person who we want to honor and recognize today on Black History Month, celebrating Black excellence. Who is it? Thelonious Monk. On February the 20th, 1964, the Thelonious Monk, the famed pianist, graced the cover of Time magazine. That issue featured a deep dive into jazz icons' impact on music. That issue also came out around the time that the civil rights movement had started to take off and tensions between black and white musicians were heading to a boiling point within the jazz community. You may know him. You may know him. If you don't know him, get to know Thelonious Monk today, a jazz pianist out of the United States who created history, really indeed. All right. It's right there on your screen. You get a sense of his name. You get a sense of the cover on Time magazine when he appeared in 1964. Black excellence indeed. All right. They caught me signaling. We shall take a break here. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
9 after the hour now. Memories of the modern high school. That's what we want to share with you now as they take some time to mark a week celebrating the establishment as the old scholars come together to again connect with each other. The modern high school. And that's what we want to talk about now. Joining us is the immediate past president of the Modern High School Old Scholars Association, Cheryl Crony-Seeley. And with her is a past member of the Modern High School himself, Senator Dr. Charleston Brathwaite. To each of you, good morning.
Good morning, Spirit.
Thank you so much for joining us. All right, let's get a little bit of history for those among us who may not be aware of all of the history of the Mornin High School. Maybe we'll start with you, Cheryl. Tell us a little bit about the Mornin High School as establishment, where it was, so that as we go by, we know exactly what we're talking about.
Good morning to everyone, and it's a pleasure to be here on Mornin Barbados. I'm the anniversary of our hero, Mr. Louis Albert DeWitt Lynch, and it's a pleasure to be here to tell you a bit about it. The Mornin would have started in 1944. I think it was first on Swan Street. Dr. Chelston would tell you a bit more about that. And we then went to the place where it was closed on Robert Street, where the ICBL now is. And there is a bus also of our hero. I say our hero because that's what we think of him. That's how we think of him. And some would have known that within the past 4 years or so, we've been trying to get him a national hero. That has not yet materialized. But with the hope and the faith that we have, we know that that should soon come. Mr. Lynch, at the age of 27 years and 3 months, saw it fit. And it's no coincidence that today being the 28th of February, our Black History Month celebrations winding down, that he, as a Black man, thought it fit to start this school so that it could be of help to those poor Black persons in Barbados. And so that's why we think of him as a great hero, all the things that he would have done for persons that were less fortunate. And we as an association, that's how we came about, and that's how we sort of geared and put our attention in trying to help the less fortunate of our Morninites especially, and wider Barbados. We are starting our week of activities on Sunday with a church service at St. Michael and All Angels, and that's at 9 a.m. and we are calling on all Morninites to come out. As a matter of fact, the entire week we are asking for all Morninites, and they in turn can bring along their friends. On Sunday after the church service, then we do our usual reflame at Mr. Lynch's grave in Westbury. On Monday, there's the lecture, the usual Louis Lynch lecture, and that's at the Grand Salle at 7 p.m. And our speaker will be Mr. Trevor Prescott on reparations. And on Tuesday, that's a free night. On Wednesday, we have a games night, and that's at our meeting place, which is Calvary Church Hall, and that's at 6:30 p.m. On Wednesday, that's Wednesday, the games night. Thursday is the bus ride, and that I am happy to say that has had good response and it's already sold out. So those persons knowing that they are coming on the bus ride, they would have a good, great, grand time. On Friday, that's another free, because that free night we are sort of preparing for what we consider to be the grand occasion for the week, which is the barbecue, fish fry, and karaoke. That's on Saturday at the Citizens Band's place in Nursery Drive, and that starts at 2 and it goes on till about 8 p.m. And we are asking every Morninite to support us, because this is one of the few fundraisers that we've been able to put on since COVID. And this is one of the main things that help to keep us apart from our subscriptions. And this is where all hands, have to be on deck, or should be on deck, because with these funds is what we do to use them to help the persons less fortunate than ourselves. And so we are asking each and everyone to come out from Sunday until Saturday to be with us.
Indeed. Dr. Brathwaite, let's turn to you. I mean, let's talk a little bit more about the history, the establishment of the school, its location, and then the de-establishment of the school, and what impact it's had on our community. What can you share with us?
Thank you, Pearson, and good morning to you, and good morning, Barbados. The Mornin High School, in my view, was an instrument of social transformation. Louis Lynch established the school in 1944 with 2 students. And that school eventually became one of the largest schools in Barbados. In fact, the Mornin High School had about 2,000 students at the peak of its existence. And over that time, Louis Lynch was able to offer education to a sector of this society that was marginalized. The children of working class, poor Barbadians who could not afford to send their children to Harrison College or to Lodge or to Combermere or any of the other schools where you had to pay high fees, because in those days education in Barbados was not free. And consequently, Louis Lynch established a school that catered for those less fortunate. He provided scholarships, he provided social amenities, books and uniforms to persons who could not afford it. And he developed a way of making education an instrument of social transformation. And many who have gone to the Mornin High School now occupy positions of leadership in science and technology, in medicine and law, in various places around the world and in Barbados. And so Louis Lynch was a transformational leader. I always say he was a man of the 20th century with a vision of the 21st century. In fact, most of the private secondary schools in Barbados were modeled after the model of the Mornin High School, and he contributed in a significant way to transforming the view of education in our country as an instrument of social mobility, and provided a great opportunity for many persons. And he did more than that, because he not only educated students, he looked out for them after graduation and sought to provide opportunities for employment. He explored opportunities in England, in Canada, for nurses and for other professionals. And in fact, I think this is a very noble instrument of social transformation, where an educational institution not only provides education, but seeks to provide the platform for the development of the educated. Louis Lynch, in my view, was a transformational leader, a man who made a great contribution to this country, an educator, a sportsman, a philanthropist, a businessman, and a man who saw the need to educate not only men but women. And he had a co-educational school at the Mornin High School in Roebuck Street and made a significant contribution to education in our country.
And I'm glad you went there, because to have established in the 40s at the time, it was not co-educational, but he almost bucked the trend to be able to say, no, the education of both girls and boys at the same time was good for the development and transformative for society as well. And so talk to us, because I don't know the history of it in its entirety, but what happened to cause it to close?
Well, I think that Louis Lynch died, and consequently the future of the school was left in the hands of others. I don't think they had the same vision that he had, and consequently over time the school did not continue. But in a real sense, the legacy of the school remains in the form of the Mornin High School Old Scholars Association. And every year we have a week of activities to celebrate his legacy, to celebrate the contribution he made to education, and to remember what he did for us as individuals in giving us an opportunity for social mobility and to participate in this society and have a full life. And so, in spite of the fact that the school has closed, it lives on in our memory, and we continue to celebrate his legacy.
Indeed, so we have two outstanding people who've been through the school, indeed. And so, Ms. Crony-Seeley, talk to us a little bit more about what it has meant to you to be able to say, I am a Morninite.
I'm always proud to say I'm a Morninite, and it's my passion that every Morninite has this passion in them to be able to say, I am not only a Morninite, but a proud Morninite. And so we've got persons, you've heard Dr. Charleston say, all over the world. We've just had a recent pilot. He was all the way over and away, and he just retired and came back to Barbados. That is Patrick Weeks. We've done from priests to politicians. And you don't even have to go to CBC. You go this morning and you can ask a few persons in there. There are some, yes, retired, but there are a few that would still tell you, yes, I went to Mornin. And so we are so passionate about it that although the school has been closed since 1978, I left in 1977. And I tell people, I don't know the man personally, Mr. Louis Albert DeWitt Lynch, but there are certain things that I read about him and I can feel it in me, and that's the passion in terms of helping persons, wanting to help persons, be there for persons, caring, the commitment and dedication to what you do. That's what I read about the man, and that's why I continue to sit on the executive and help wherever I can. And that's what I want to be in every Morninite. The priests, the politicians, the lawyers, the doctors, everyone this morning should be shouting, yes, I went to that school. And so we are asking them to, it's no coincidence Mr. Lynch started, I said, at 27 years, 2 months and opened the school, and died at 52 years, 3 months on the 8th of March, 1969. And so that is what we continue. 54 years since he has died. He has currently said, or people say, he died longer than he lived. And so we continue. We want that. That's why I'm so passionate about it. And that's why I'm asking every Morninite to come out this week, and try to help us to carry on this legacy. Yes, we can say we want it carried on, but the financial aspect of it is of utmost importance.
Indeed.
Right now we are also in the process. We already about 4 years now, we've taken a child from primary school into secondary school, and we sort to adopt her. We look after her welfare. And I said the unfortunate ones, we don't just want to take a hamper to a person every Christmas. So we try a little harder with what little funds we have to help those that are less fortunate. We have, yes, priests, politicians, doctors, lawyers, but also we have those that would have fallen, a bit on hard times.
Yes.
And so we look out for them as long as it comes to us. They are a Morninite. We go and we help them. We don't stay on the rooftop and say we're helping person boy because he is less fortunate. But we do it quietly, and they appreciate it, and they are glad also to be proud Morninite. So I'm pleading, please, each and every one, come out and help us from Sunday, and as I said, especially Saturday. Saturday to me is the most important, because that's where you give back, you give to your association as a proud Morninite, and you're helping us to help those that are less fortunate.
Indeed, so
come out, one and all.
Indeed, so Tuesday and Friday are free days, folks, but on Sunday there's a church service at the Cathedral of St. Michael and All Angels that starts at 9. Following the service, there's a wreath laying happening at the bust right there of the Westbury Cemetery. On Monday, there's the Louis Lynch
No,
Memorial
that's
Lecture.
not that. That's Mary.
I got you. There's on the 28th, there's the 20th Louis Lynch Lecture on Monday coming. That's at the Tom Adams Financial Center. It begins at 7. The guest speaker is the Honorable Trevor Prescott. He's talking on reparations. It's an idea whose time has come. So to hear him speak on Monday evening at 7, the Tom Adams Financial Center. On Wednesday, there's a games night at the Calvary Moravian Church. That begins at 6:30 in the evening. Then on Thursday, that bus ride is already sold out, so I'm not even talking about it. But the Morning Nights are going to have a good time indeed on Thursday. And then on Saturday, we are all invited to come down to the nursery drive to the Citizens Band Association location. That's where it's going to be. You cannot miss it. It's across the waterway. You know exactly where it is on Nursery Drive. From very early, 8 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. From 2 o'clock in the afternoon, there's going to be a fish fry, barbecue, karaoke, a great time. Morning Nights all will be there, but every Barbadian is invited to be there as well because it's a fundraiser. And you know, you're just $30 and you get great food and have a great time as well. And we want to encourage as many of you as possible to be a part of it all. I want to thank both of you for joining us this morning. What a wonderful history lesson I got this morning. I thoroughly enjoyed interacting with you. I feel myself as if I should have been a Morning Night now because you've made me feel so good about it indeed. Congratulations on your continued great work and I wish you the best.
Thank you, Pearson.
You're very welcome. You're welcome. Cheryl Crony-Seeley, the immediate past president of the Modern High School Association, and Senator Dr. Charleston Brathwaite, a past student as well of the Modern High School. We hope you're all able to support them in these activities. A break, and when we come back, our pediatrician, Dr. Gillian Birchwood.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Max Pack Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for our new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
26 and a half minutes now after 7 o'clock. You think children don't have problems with urination? You're kidding me? That's what we want to look at now. Some of those problems that children have with urination. And we're joined this morning by Dr. Gillian Birchwood. Dr. Birchwood, good morning.
Good morning, Pearson. Good morning, Barbados.
Always good to see you. Now, when we hear children, we don't like to use the word problems. We oftentimes say, what problems would children have? So what are these problems that children do have with urination?
Well, you know, certainly many parents have battled at one time or another with problems with the children passing urine. And the most common problems that you'll find is that they may suddenly start passing excessive amounts of urine for no clear reason, or you may find that they may have painful urination, which can sometimes indicate problems that need to be dealt with. And another big one is definitely bedwetting. And that can be a very stressful problem for families, children and adults alike.
All right. I want to start with a frequent urination. What are some of the issues there?
Well, this is something that is not that uncommon, that you'll find that a child who's already been potty trained, has never had any problems with going to the bathroom, will suddenly, and this can happen around the age of typically 4 or 5 years old, they will suddenly start going to the bathroom every half an hour, every 20 minutes. They're running to the bathroom. They have this strong urge to go. And it can happen during school time, when they're at home. The parents notice them running to the bathroom all the time. It can be as many as 30 or 40 times a day,
Wow.
which is really quite phenomenal, yes. And the key here is that these children will have no other symptoms. So you'll find that they are not having pain, they're passing very small amounts of urine, the urine doesn't have an offensive smell to it, and they're not having accidents or just really a small accident, nothing major. And this condition is called, wait for it, it's a bit of a mouthful, it's called pollakiuria. And there isn't another name for it that's easier, but that's it, pollakiuria. And this is a diagnosis that we make when we're sure there isn't anything else to explain what is going on. But it's very frustrating and worrisome for parents when the child does have this condition.
So nothing to worry about? Is that what you're saying to me here?
Well, certainly I wouldn't want a parent whose child is passing urine suddenly 30 or 40 times a day to just stay at home. You should certainly go to your doctor. But when your doctor takes the history, gets the information, examines the child, and most likely will do a urine test, then they can be pretty confident at that stage, once they've gotten all the information and examined the child, that this is very likely to be that pollakiuria. And it really isn't anything to worry about. It happens to be something that will go away on its own. It can be there for a few days, it can be there for a few months, but the key is not to punish the child, and you can actually help to retrain them to have normal bladder function. But can you imagine in the classroom running off to the bathroom every 20, 30 minutes? Very disruptive. So the teachers need to be involved and know not to punish this child and to allow them to go so they don't feel embarrassed.
You know what we do? We say to them, you know, perhaps you're drinking too much, so you will drink less. You will not consume so much liquid, because if that's causing you to run to the bathroom, I'm tired of having to run to the bathroom with you. You will not, therefore. Is that a good response? Because the children, they do need hydration.
Absolutely. I mean, and we live in a hot climate, and you know, every lunchtime and break time, the kids are out running around sweating.
Yes.
But for sure, yeah, they absolutely are. But for sure, they need to drink their normal amount. Nobody's quite sure why pollakiuria happens, but for sure, it is not a problem of drinking too much fluid. Sometimes it's related to underlying anxiety or a change in the child's life, like they have a new sibling or they've just changed schools, for example. It can be a stressful event. But also you can find that in these children, you can sometimes retrain them by telling them it's okay, you don't have to go to the bathroom every time you feel the urge. Wait for 10 minutes, wait for 20 minutes, and you can start stretching them out so they get back to normal bladder function. Sometimes that's all it takes. But the key here with that condition is definitely patience.
Right. Sometimes that's all it takes, and sometimes it's just patience. But sometimes it could, is it possible it could be another kind of problem? And if so, what could it possibly be?
Absolutely. So if your child is suddenly passing lots of urine, your doctor's going to definitely ask certain questions. One of the first things that they're going to ask is your child suddenly wetting the bed? Are they drinking more fluid than usual? Are they having weight loss? Because those can be signs of diabetes. And indeed, it can be the first sign of diabetes, which can certainly have its onset in childhood. And this is one of the most common ways it can present. So again, if you see your child is passing urine a lot, then don't assume that it isn't anything. You definitely need to go to the doctor. But in this particular instance, they will sometimes be passing so much urine that they'll be more likely to have accidents. This is more likely to be associated with bedwetting, and they're not going to be having pain when they're passing urine, which you would expect with a bladder infection. So with a history like that, frequent urination, drinking lots of fluids, weight loss, eating a lot more, that can be a sign of diabetes. And in children, especially young children, you want to catch that very early, because most types of childhood onset diabetes can have quite severe consequences if it is detected late. And children may end up being hospitalized or in the intensive care unit. So that's another possible cause of frequent urination, although not an extremely common one, a very important one nonetheless.
Get it checked, folks. Get it checked, mommy, daddy. All right, I'm going to get to the painful one in just a moment, but the bedwetting. All of us have been through bedwetting, so don't pretend with me now. So let's talk a little bit about that. Again, you know, we hear, again, you're drinking too late. You didn't give your body enough time to eliminate, so therefore you're going to wet the bed. or you might need to eat the heart of the sour salt. It will help you prevent bedwetting. All sorts of things we hear about. So what's happening? Or the child is just afraid at night to get up and go. What's going on there?
Yes, so bedwetting can be a lot to untangle. So the first thing is that we have to have a realistic expectation of when a child should be dry through the night. So sometimes I'll have a parent of a 4-year-old come to me and say, my child is still wetting the bed. And I would say, well, so are half of the other 4-year-olds. So that's definitely nothing to worry about just yet. So I would say if a child is older than 6 or 7 years old, we would expect their body to be able to hold that urine during the night, and certainly they should be able to wake up at night if they do have the urge to go. So if your child is older than about 6 or 7 years and still wetting the bed, then that's a time that you need to seek medical advice and see if something is going on. Chances are still there's nothing to worry about, but it's very distressing, it's very embarrassing for children who are wetting the bed at night. But then you also have those who are afraid to go to the bathroom. There are monsters in the bathroom. There are monsters in the hallway. There are monsters everywhere. And so they may be afraid to go, and they certainly can. And so you need to empower that child. Help them develop, the tools so that they are less likely to be afraid. Put lighting in the hallway. Let them know that they can come get you. Give them a monster shoe that you can smack the monster with. If you see it, that the monsters will explode. Give them little tools that they will feel confident that they can actually do it on their own. So in a situation like that, it's about empowering your child. But for children who are older than 6 and 7 and have never been dry, or children who were dry and suddenly start back wetting the bed, that is definitely of concern, and you need to check it out.
Because what could it possibly be? I'm thinking it's more emotional, mental than it is physical.
Well, if you have a child who has never been dry and they are bedwetting still, you find them at 8, 9, 10 years, it may be something that runs in the family. So definitely in many situations, you'll find a parent or family member who also used to wet the bed. It frequently runs in the family. It very, 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 very rarely can be an actual kidney problem. But more than that, sometimes their body just physiologically has not reached the point where they're able to get it done on their own. And so there are ways that you can help the child because, imagine they don't want to go spend the night by grandma. They don't want to go by their friends for the night, their cousins. They're worried that they are going to be wetting the bed and getting embarrassed. And so there are bedwetting alarms for children who are older, who may be having this problem. And literally at the first sign of moisture that is detected, it emits an alarm that would wake up the household, but certainly gets the child up. And this actually helps to train their body. So after a while, their body starts to make a connection between I'm passing urine in the night and there's going to be this loud alarm. So it can be a really successful way of helping the children. And then there are also tablets or medications that can be taken to help with nighttime bedwetting. But obviously we'd want them to reach a point where they don't need medication, but their body has reached that stage where they can just get up and do it on their own.
You're quite right. I've seen parents who at this point in night would wake up, come, go pass some water and come back. Because I am not washing that sheet. I am not sending that mattress out to dry. So you get up and you go do it and come back. That's happened. Been there, done that. Now, I want to look at the painful bit now. Again, what could cause this child to have painful urination?
Yes, so painful urination quite frequently can be a sign of a bladder infection. It can also be a sign of irritation. So for example, if in the case of girls, they've had bubble baths or they've been using soaps that can be irritating, or in young children who are discovering themselves, they might cause irritation just by poking around in that area. So it's not always a bladder infection, or they can have had an injury when they were playing that can cause irritation to that area, to the urethra where the urine comes out. But bladder infections are more common in girls, and this is because where the urine comes out, or the urethra, that opening is close to the anus where the stool comes out. And so it's much easier for bacteria to get into the urethra and climb up into the bladder and beyond and cause a bladder infection. But bladder infections can also be caused in children who have underlying kidney problems or who have something that is called reflux, where the urine goes backward and up towards the kidneys. And those children can have kidney infections, which can be quite severe, and that will sometimes require surgical correction. So in a child who has frequent bladder infections, definitely we want to investigate and see why. They might need an ultrasound of the kidneys. They might need other tests to see if there's a reason that we then need to do something about.
So in other words, when your child says they're having pain or you notice your child wincing, deal with it. Deal with it, because it could be one of those situations that you've just outlined to be attended to urgently. Dr. Bircher, we got to leave it there, but as always, such insight you share with us whenever we have these encounters with you on a Tuesday morning. We do look forward to it, and we do look forward to next week if it be God's will as well. We wish you well. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You do too. Thank you so much. Dr. Gillian Birchwood, I hope you've got some insight now into when your children are having problems with urination, whether it is frequent urination, painful urination, or bedwetting, what you now can look out for and you can do to be able to assist them through these transitions as well. A break. When we come back, that big watermelon eating competition we will share with you in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
19 minutes now to go to the hour of 8 o'clock. Let's set a few things into context. You know, we had Agro Fest last weekend. Huge turnout, wonderful things happening. They had a watermelon eating contest. But let's trigger a memory for you for just a moment. You remember when we went out to Cocoa Hill Forest? You remember when we went into St. Joseph to Cocoa Hill Forest? And we showed you a video of our crew. They were taking the trek as they surveyed the lands. And then someone fell. A big man fell. That big man we call Big Brown. Well, Big Brown went to Agro Fest on the weekend, as a matter of fact, on Saturday, and he participated in the watermelon eating contest. How did he do? Take a look.
Hey. And over here we got my man. You told me your name, I can't remember it. Sherlyn Johnson, ladies and gentlemen. Sherlyn, who is shouting and rooting for Sherlyn? All right, good. And over here we got my man. Well, oh, look at you. What? Big Brown. Who is shouting for Big Brown? Hello. Give this man 10 slices of watermelon, please. And we got my brother over Kilele, pom pom. Who is rooting for Kilele? Nice. So be ready. Kilele, you have a strategy. Do you have a strategy? Kilele, you have a strategy? Do you have a plan, a strategy in place? Room for improvement. What about you, Big Bear? You got a strategy and a plan in place? I get advice from 12 people. One buddy tell me, one bite, and pull. And they tell me, like, doing true. Like, chew, and swallow. So, I got my strategy. You got too many for me. What about you, Sherlyn? You got a strategy, brother? Just try your best. Go on. Silver 10, do you have one? What's your strategy? You can take your time. You know it's not an hour, right? Simon 2, what is your strategy, brother? Simon said he's gonna close. How you so wait? Hello. How you mean close your eyes and see what happens? Huh? Once it touch your lips, you turn watermelon, right? And Frederick, what about you, brother? He says, true, fast, and go for it. All right, so guys, you have 3 slices. All must be eaten in 3 minutes or under. If you eat under, that's a good record, I must tell you. All right? And you all have strategies, so this is going to be some real fun here now. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, Agro Fest family, are you ready? Competitors, are you ready? Hands in the air, please. On my go, you will go at the count of 4. 4. Let's see who goes down first. Yeah, so we got Kidale, you eating kind of dainty, brother. Big Bear, which strategy is this? Which one? You can't talk to me now. And Shannon, how you looking, Shannon? Shannon ain't looking up. And my man Silverton, your eyes open? Hold on, let me see you. Your eyes open? Frederick, how you looking? Huh? You gotta do more, Frederick, man. Grab the tank and listen, eat out there. Big Bear got 1 down. How you looking here, Kidale? Big Bear got 1 down. Shannon is coming after. Silverton, you gotta make some room for that, brother. And then we got Simon going after, and Frederick is also down. How much time now? 2 minutes? Oh, good. Time moving, fellas. 2 minutes, 13 seconds. And we're gonna move now. We're gonna run now. We're gonna run now to the 7 for long. 7 for now. Who gonna look back here now? 7 for long, and we can looking good. This is the go-kart race next. We started, you know. This go-kart race, boy. This is go-kart race, Frederick. Frederick, you look like you're gonna be also run. Simon is moving ahead. And we also got Big Bear. Look at Big Bear moving in, man. And my man Kennedy pom here like a sport nighter. Simon is down. Sherlyn moving. Silverton, take off the hat, because the hat like it's stopping you. Good. No, eat the watermelon now, brother. Simon, how you looking, Simon? Make sure the space thing too dirty here. Big Bear, how we looking? Kennedy, listen. This man is one to watch you. Kennedy is one to watch. Kennedy, you pray? Hello, you pray? You pray? For what we're about to eat, many long to the temple. Amen. Big Bear, how you looking, Big Bear? We got Big Bear and Simon, and look, it's going to be neck and neck between Big Bear and Simon. Frederick, you're looking too bad neither. Who is going to be the winner here? How much time we got now, Marlon? How much time we got? 52 seconds. 50, Big Bear. Simon, how you looking? Simon, we go for second and third. Down the line. Silverton, Sherlyn, Kennedy down the corner. You ain't there yet? You see him? He's showing off now, man. He's showing off on the boys now, man. Yeah, we got 1 winner. We're down to second now. We're going for third, sir. Who is going to come up third now? Who's going to come up third? Kennedy, you were looking about it all. Silverton, Sherlyn, and Frederick. Silverton, Sherlyn, and Sherlyn. Anyhow. Yeah. Well, it's got me tired. Good fun, guys. It's all over.
Listen, I laughed and I cried. Honestly, Big Bear did very well indeed. Big Brown, what we call him right here on the floor indeed. One of our crew here at the CBC. Congratulations to you, Big Brown, in the watermelon eating contest at the last weekend's Agro Fest. Great fun, guys. Great fun indeed. All right, we're going to take a break here. When we come back, a chance for you to work with me to unscramble some words. Stay with us.
Morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, 11 minutes now to go to the hour of 8 o'clock. Time to unscramble some words, folks. Time for you to give me a call on 228-5562 or 228-5563, the numbers to call, and to help me by unscrambling some letters to some words. And when you do, you give us a call on 228-5562 or 228-5563. The number of words, we got time, so you take your time, but don't take too much time to unscramble the first word. What is the first word for you to unscramble? Look at this one, a righty. Yes, this one comes back, a righty. Can you work this one out? What word is it? 228-5562 or 228-5563. What word is this? What word is it? Call me now, 228-5562 or 228-5563. What word can you make? When you take these letters, set them in exact order and form the word. There are two E's in this word. What order do they fall? Good morning. Hello. Good morning.
How are you?
Hello.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, Gregory, I'm well. How are you doing?
Not bad.
Wonderful, Gregory. Good to hear from you. Do you think you know this word?
You know, I remember the word that I call.
And as you get to it, go from your head, right?
I remember the word that I call, Pearson.
Try though. Let me hear what you think it might be.
Senior moments, huh?
Yeah, I know. I have those too. What look at it. You looking at the TV?
I am. I'm looking at the TV. I know the word since Friday, you know.
So make a wild guess. What word do you think it is? A good guess.
Oh dear. I can't remember the word.
No problem, Gregory. No problem. I understand, buddy. Thanks a lot. All right.
Keep the good work.
Thank you, Gregory. You take care, buddy. Gregory tried, Gregory failed. But what about you? Will you try and pass? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Look at it carefully. What word can we make? Good morning. Hello.
Good morning, Pearson. You and I have great heritage. This is Deborah from St. Lucie.
We do, Deborah? Explain the heritage. Explain the heritage then.
How you doing?
Good, man. You good too?
Yes, please.
Good girl. Deborah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Heritage it is indeed. Well done, Deborah. All the best, all right?
You too, darling. Bye-bye.
Good girl. Bye-bye. Heritage it is indeed from Deborah. So we have another one, folks. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Look at this one. Bonita Leo. What can we do with this one? Bonita Leo. Oh, this is almost Italian. What can we do with this one? 228-5562 or 228-5563. What word do you think we can make? Should we unscramble these letters? What word do you see? Call me now and tell me. 228-5562 or 228-5563. What's the word? What's the word? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Call me from anywhere. It doesn't matter if you're here or you're somewhere else over the world. It doesn't matter whether you call you because you missed it. It doesn't call. 228-5562 or 228-5563. And if you're watching on another service, you're going to be delayed. I keep telling you that. So definitely you need to sign up with MCTV. Do call our customer care desk at 8 o'clock. They open the phone lines from 8 o'clock here at the CBC for customer care services and MCTV. So call me now, 228-5562 or 228-5563. What word do you think we can make when we unscramble the letters you see on your screen? Good morning. Hello, how are you?
Improving.
Good girl, good to see you. Good to hear you this time, but good to see you last weekend.
Yeah,
so
good
talk
to
to me.
Too.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Deborah, that just gone off the phone.
How it is, Deborah? What's the word now, Billy?
It looks like abolition. I almost call it what you call it, Bonalito.
You almost fell into my trap. But you're absolutely right. It is abolition. Well done, Billy. Thank you so much. All right. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. She's right. It's abolition. Abolition. Yeah. See? It's so easy it is. 2 down, 2 right, 2 women. Fellas, Fellas? Oh dear, look at this one. I can't even try to pronounce what I'm saying right now. The mirindications, but that's not the word here. 228-5562 or 228-5563. What word is it? When you unscramble these letters here on your screen right now, there's several letters on your screen. Take them, shake them up, and make a word with them. But you tell me the word you think you can make when you unscramble the letters on your screen. And so they're creeping up to the... There it is. Do you have the answer now? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Call me now and let me know. Take your time. This one is not that difficult, you know. I know you're thinking so because you see quite a number of letters on your screen, but this is such an easy word. Such an easy word that when you unscramble it, you hit yourself and say, I can't believe that's the word for real. But it is the word for real. 228-5562 or 228-5563. What is the word that you can make when you unscramble the letters on your screen? That's your job if you accept the offer. Take it up and give me the word. 228-5562 or 228-5563. There are... Good morning. Hello.
Good morning, Pearson.
Hey, how are you doing, sir?
I am good. I'm blessed.
Wonderful. What's your first name?
My first name is Andre.
Andre, and what parish are you watching from?
Ellerton St. George.
Andre from Ellerton St. George. Andre, make me proud. What's the word?
It's discrimination.
You sure, Andre?
Yes, please.
You sure that everyone in Ellerton St. George will be very proud of your choice of word this morning?
Yes, please.
Andre, you're right. You're absolutely right. Well done. Andre of Ellerton St. George. You're welcome, Andre. Thank you for watching as well. Andre of Ellerton St. George. We asked the guys to come through and Andre came through for us. Well done, Andre. Discrimination. You guys are sharp. I got one more for you. Charm. That's not the word. There's a word called charm. Charm. But I want you to take these letters now and put them into another. Tell me another word you can make. Tell me another word that you can actually make when you unscramble these letters. They're all scrambled. Trust me, they're scrambled, even though they do form a word. But I want another word. 228-5562 or 228-5563. You have 5 letters to make a word. It is simple so. Simple. What word, however, can you make using these letters on your screen? Talk to me now. Which letter do you put first? Which letter comes last? That's your challenge. Accept it and give me a call. 228-5562 or 63. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
You're very welcome. I'm well, thank you for asking. Who's calling?
Marcella.
Hello, Marcella. That's a lovely first name.
Yes, from Christchurch.
Yeah. From Christchurch. Do you know who gave the name to you? Your mother or your father or your uncle, aunt?
I'm not too sure.
You never asked?
No, we never asked.
Marcella. But you make it sport. So as a little girl growing up with the name Marcella, were you teased? Yes. Were you teased?
No.
But what did they call you for short? Mars?
Well, they called me another name too.
You'll want to tell me. All right, Marcella from Christchurch. Yes. What word do you think it is that I'm looking for?
Is it March?
Marcella, I asked you. You're asking me a question. Answer me.
March is the name.
You're right, Marcella. Absolutely right. Well done, Marcella. Thank you very much. I like her name, Marcella. Lovely name, isn't it? So March, we have 4 down, 3 ladies and 1 man. Can we get them another one? We will look. This one looks almost biblical. Look at that one there. 228-5562 or 228-5563. What word is this? I'm not even seeking spiral edda, I think. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Work this one out now. Tell me this word. We've had 1 man and 3 women so far getting it right. Fellas, prove me on this one now. Come boys. Let's do this one. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Look at this. Look at it carefully and sort it out and let me know what word you come up with. If you don't get it right today, you shall try again another time. You better believe it. We're not going away from this one. You got to get this right. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning, Pearson.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, I fear.
Fantastic. Who's calling?
Mildred from St. Lucie.
Mildred from River Bay, indeed, Mildred. All right, Mildred, what's the answer?
Are you saying leadership?
I know. What's
Leadership.
the answer? Haha. Well done, Mildred. You're absolutely right. It is indeed leadership.
Yes,
Leadership is that word indeed. Well done, Mildred. Have a good day, okay?
Hello?
Have a good day and say hi to everybody for me.
Yes, please. Thank you. Same
All
to
right.
you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Take care now. Mildred is spot on right. Mildred is right. Indeed, leadership it is. Whew. My Lord, what a morning. I want to thank you all for being with us indeed and staying with us all the way through indeed. My producer has been Alicia As Grant. Technical director, we shared it today, Samuel Mason and Rowell Ford. At sound has been Christopher Blemon. And of course at Master Control, the one and only, Tamisha Green. And Pearson Boyne. For each of them, to all of you, we say thank you. Come on back tomorrow. We're looking forward to seeing you then. Take care. Bye-bye.